City rain always arrives in soft, endless drizzles, blurring streetlights into warm golden halos and washing the noise off busy urban streets. For Liam Hale, rainy days had long been his favorite escape. A quiet piano tutor in his mid-20s, he lived on a peaceful street lined with old maple trees, spending most of his days teaching students or playing gentle melodies alone in a small downtown cafe. He loved the calm after rain, the fresh scent of wet soil, and how the world slowed down, softening every sharp edge of hurried city life. Though surrounded by students, neighbors, and acquaintances, Liam had always kept his heart gently closed, convinced that true love was a rare tune most people never get to hear. The little cafe named Dew Corner became his second home. Its wooden floors creaked softly, warm coffee aroma lingered in every corner, and an old upright piano stood quietly by the French window. On rainy afternoons, when customers thinned out, Liam would sit by the piano and improvise soft, unwritten melodies, letting his fingers dance freely on the yellowed keys. His music was never grand or passionate. It was warm, healing, and slightly melancholic, carrying the quiet loneliness he had grown used to over the years. On a cold, rainy afternoon in early spring, the cafe's glass door swung open with a soft jingle, bringing in a gust of damp wind. A young girl rushed inside, shaking fine raindrops off her thin coat, her dark hair clinging gently to her forehead. She held a worn leather notebook tightly against her chest, her cheeks flushed from the cold, and her bright eyes scanning the warm room for an empty seat. That was the first time Liam met Mia Carter. Mia was a freelance writer, traveling between cities to collect stories and record gentle fragments of life. Tired of fast-paced life and empty social interactions, she often hid in quiet cafes on rainy days, writing down fleeting thoughts and unnoticed trivial beauty. She had no fixed home, no stable schedule, and had always believed she was born to wander, never destined to settle down with anyone. She loved rainy days because rain blurred the boundaries of the world and allowed her to hide peacefully in her own little bubble. Mia chose a seat right beside the piano, spreading out her notebook and dipping her pen in ink. Before she could start writing, soft piano music flowed gently toward her. The melody was tender and unhurried, like raindrops sliding down window glass, quiet but deeply touching. She looked up and saw Liam sitting in front of the piano, his gaze focused, his fingers moving lightly on the keys, completely immersed in his own world. The warm lamplight fell on his side face, softening his quiet features, and for a moment, Mia forgot all her words and simply listened. When Liam finished the unwritten melody, he turned his head and met her eyes. A faint, shy smile rose on his lips. "Rainy days always inspire softer tunes," he whispered. Mia smiled back, a light and genuine smile that rarely appeared on her wandering days. "It's the most beautiful music I've ever heard. It feels like peace has a sound," she replied softly. That afternoon, they talked casually beside the rain-streaked window. Liam learned that Mia traveled alone, chasing stories and gentle moments, always moving forward without pause. Mia learned that Liam had loved the piano since childhood, using music to soothe his own loneliness and warm others' tired hearts. They shared their views on life, talked about hidden emotions behind music and words, and discovered an unexpected resonance between their souls. One was used to settling down and guarding quiet warmth, while the other was used to wandering and collecting distant beauty. Yet both understood the loneliness hidden in gentleness. After that day, rainy afternoons became their secret appointment. Whenever rain fell, Mia would walk into the cafe with her notebook, and Liam would reserve the piano seat for her. He played soft melodies while she wrote quietly, occasionally looking up to exchange a gentle glance. No deliberate arrangement, no fixed promise, only natural companionship that grew slowly with every rainy day passing by. Mia's writing became warmer and softer. Before meeting Liam, Her words were always filled with faint helplessness and drifting confusion, describing lonely nights and endless journeys. But after having this quiet encounter, her sentences began to carry warm trivialities. The scent of coffee, the rhythm of piano keys, the soft sound of rain, and the quiet boy who played music for the rain. For the first time in her wandering life, she had a fixed place to miss and a person who made her willing to stop. Liam's world also changed quietly. His original monotonous piano practice and dull daily life were filled with fresh warmth. He began to look forward to rainy days, to the jingle of the cafe door, to the figure walking in with raindrops on her clothes. His melodies were no longer slightly lonely. They became bright and gentle, full of tender expectation. Loneliness, which had accompanied him for years, slowly faded away, replaced by the quiet joy of companionship. As spring gradually deepened, the rainy days became gentle and frequent. Their feelings grew silently between piano melodies and written words, neither rushing to confess nor deliberately avoiding. They walked along the rainy street after the cafe closed, sharing one umbrella, their shoulders gently touching. They tasted hot cocoa together on cold afternoons, talked about their trivial worries and distant dreams, and enjoyed the most simple and precious warmth in ordinary days. One evening, the rain fell softly and continuously, wrapping the whole city in a hazy mist. The cafe had no other customers, only warm lights, lingering coffee fragrance, and the two of them staying quietly together. Liam played a new melody he had composed recently, a tune exclusively for Mia, gentle and lingering, containing all the unspoken tenderness in his heart. After the last note faded, Liam turned to look at Mia seriously. "I used to think my life would always be fixed in this small cafe, repeating the same melody day after day, quiet and unchanged. But you walked into my rainy days, broke my long-term loneliness, and made every ordinary moment worthy of expectation. I don't want to just play music for rainy days anymore. I want to play every melody for you, for all the days to come." Mia's eyes were filled with warm tears. She had wandered for years, fearing settlement and bondage, always running forward alone. But Liam's gentleness was never restrictive. He gave her warmth without possession, companionship without pressure, letting her know that settling down was not compromise, but the bravest willingness to stay for love. "I've been chasing stories all my life," Mia whispered softly. "I've traveled through countless cities and seen countless scenery, but I never knew the most touching story is the one that happens in this rainy cafe with you. I no longer want to wander aimlessly. I want to stay here with your music, with your quiet warmth." In the soft rain and warm lamplight, they leaned gently close and kissed, quiet and pious, like the most tender melody settling in the trivial world. The old piano witnessed their encounter and their love, turning every rainy day into a sweet memory. Later, Mia stopped her endless wandering. She rented a small apartment near the cafe, writing warm stories every day, while Liam continued to teach piano and compose melodies for her. Rainy days were no longer symbols of loneliness, but the beginning of their steady love. They learned that the best love in the world is not vigorous passion, but quiet companionship, mutual tolerance, and willing settlement for each other. Every time the rain falls and the piano sounds softly in the cafe, the gentle melody tells the most simple and touching love story. Two lonely souls meeting on a rainy day, healing each other, and turning fleeting encounter into lifelong forever.